the field goal. He's got the premiership.
Yo, what's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Touchline Between the Sticks. If you're new here, please smash the like button, comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and if you are listening on Spotify, please make sure you follow us. And yeah, boys, the footy. What a massive...
Finally got it.
Nah, I did.
Finally got the intro.
How many attempts? I think like 10 to 12 takes, I think.
Anthony's explained it. That's why we're clapping. It took him a
Because
while.
you can never get
I can never get it right.
How long have we been doing this podcast, bro?
Bro, 2.5 years.
Well, 2.5 years, too
But I
long to
still
do an
can't get
intro,
it.
bro.
It's still camera shy. That's what it is.
I think
It's camera shy. I'm going to admit it.
Bro, you should stop doing the intros, bro. I don't know why we keep getting him.
Just
We
for the
we
laughs.
just want you to.
It's just for the
We
laughs.
just want to always make sure you redeem yourself. Like, have a chance.
Obviously, yeah.
Oh, is
But
it-
when I'm
How
confident,
many chances we going to give him?
probably like 50 takes, 100
Well,
takes.
Before we get started on league talk, yesterday night you got a 3-pointer in basketball. How was
Congrats,
that?
man.
Look, to be honest, I don't know how I got that. And you know, when I was practicing on the threes and that, it was so hard to get it in, but I was trying to get back my rhythm after for so long that I haven't played basketball since 07. But I said, you know
Fuck,
what?
I was in kindergarten, bro.
Yeah, you were young back in those days. Like, for
Can you
me,
show them what you did when you got the 3-point?
I had to
Nah,
just...
please, cuz, please.
Yeah, I'll just...
Nah, bro.
I won't do it on
You
camera.
can do it if you want.
No, I won't do it. So when you shoot a three, you go like, shit.
Well, if you guys want to see the 3-pointer,
Well, I'll send it after
we'll
the
put it on
video,
podcast
yeah.
Just so you can see, you also scored another
Another
4 points.
Extra 4 points. It
2
was just
points
2 points of layer.
fell short.
Yeah.
What's that? What's a record? 4-0
So basically,
losses?
like we did good last night, but we were only down by 4 points, 3 minutes to
It
go
was good,
from
yeah.
the game. But I think we just got tired and fatigued. But the other team, man, they were chucking the balls. Like you saw what they did.
yeah.
They were chucking the ball back. Like they think they're playing like NFL Hail Mary, you know?
Yeah.
Well, watch out, LeBron James, bro. Bashara's coming.
So what is that? 4-0 losses for in the
Yeah, unfortunate, but look, we learned from it. But next week, I think we'll get a win. Hopefully, we get a first win in the competition.
Enough of Bashara's
It's
basketball.
not basketball talk.
And we're meant to be talking about NRL.
Let's
level,
talk
you
about
know?
it.
Competition level.
Round
so-
5.
Yeah.
What are we
Let's
starting
talk
off
about
on?
the actual
game?
first game of
So the first game, we're going to talk about Canberra Raiders and Cronulla Sharks. What an absolute
I'm so
game,
happy
man.
Sharks lost, man. Like, they did not deserve that game at all. You watch that Raiders, the first half, I think it was a bit even. I still think Raiders did deserve that lead. Rightfully so in the first half. Second half, I think Sharks slowly got into the game, but Raiders, man, we'll talk about the decisions later into the podcast. We've got a few talks about the referees and consistency, but yeah, Raiders, man, they deserved it. Again, I predicted that they'll get that win. Hard, gritty win from Raiders. They never gave up. The forwards were up for it. Their back line was superb. Defended well, and I'm just happy Raiders won against the
Again,
Sharks.
on the first half, you had Raiders score, Sharks score, Raiders score, Sharks score, Raiders score, Sharks score. So it was pretty 50-50 game, even game. Both teams were, giving it at it. So I'd say the first half was 18-all first half, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was.
something
Yeah,
like
so
that.
again,
18-all,
I think the score reflects the performance of both teams. But again, Sharks, right at the end, they were getting that win, and then all of a sudden, the try of the year already. What a try. I've never seen a try of that dramatic finish, except for the grand final 2015, but that was up there.
What do you mean? Xavier Coates last year.
Oh, even that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a few, but that one for 2025, that's try of the year, because the way Raiders won it, they deserved it. Hudson Young got sin bin.
Yeah.
You thought, okay, Sharks are going to go with it, but they dug in there and then they got the win. So, again, happy Sharks lost. I don't like their team. They've got a very arrogant team, a lot of players that, think they're better than the rest. But Raiders, again, they got the win, and I was jumping like the Bulldogs had won that game.
Yeah, like you said about how everyone had individual tries, like even. When it was 18-all, I think Brennan Nikora put that try before halftime, so to lock it in 18-all. But, man, Hudson Young got a sin bin. Comes back on the field, then wins up the whole game.
Contributes in that try because he made the line break.
Yeah, but
and
what?
Then he offloaded it.
Yeah, what about that pass? How you flicked the back?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
yeah.
Xavier Savage, when he kicks
grubber
the grubber kick, bounced up, gave it to
He
Chris
got
Sebastian
lucky.
Chris.
He got lucky with
That
the
was
kick.
very lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky with the bounce.
Yeah,
And-
because the bounce, because even if it had gone forward, the winger would have grabbed it. But it's the fact that I don't think he would have been able to go past those players because there was 2 Sharks players unless he offloaded it. But yeah, that bounce really helped him.
Well, now Para versus Dragons. I don't know how Dragons beat Melbourne and then lose against Para. 1 point. That's embarrassing.
They were doing this. There was this post about I don't know. Manly beat Melbourne beat Dragons. Eels beat Dragons. So that means Manly's the worst. There's some sort of name going on. But yeah, man, Dragons. This is why I don't think they'll make the 8. the way they play, and again, they've got so many good players. Gutherson was phenomenal. But again, if you're losing
Give
to
it
the
time,
Eels,
bro. Give it time.
yeah, of course, you got to give it time. But again, I just don't think Dragons will make that. And that's why I predicted them out of it. Because if we're already seeing signs of what we saw last year, the inconsistency, beating the Melbourne Storm, losing against Eels. We saw that last year. They beat a big team. It was... I think they did beat Melbourne, but then they versus the Dogs, they lost it. So, yeah, I'm not impressed by the Dragons.
Yeah, Dragons, same old Dragons every year. And this is what they were supposed to be doing heading into a new season. We need to see a different Dragons. They can't be a team beating big teams like Melbourne and then the week after losing to Eels who are last on the ladder. This is the same Dragons. I put them top 8 and I'm seeing these performances. Like, they've got such a good squad. They've got a fantastic coach who many of us wanted at the Dogs. He's won a premiership and to see Dragons players just letting him down, like the last 2 years, big games they win and they just fall off the week after. And just, for me, that's why they don't deserve top 8. Just because of these moments where just, as a fan, turns you off and say, why are Dragons always like this? And I've said, great squad, but it's just about finding these little moments, controlling the game. And I feel Lachlan Elias again, he's supposed to be with Kyle Flanagan, controlling the game and finding a way to win that game. And with that lack of halfback experience, I think that's what's going to cost them this year. Even though I put them top 8.
It was won that last like 10, 15 minutes of that game. They were winning it up until, bro, they just came full force. I feel like it was match fitness, bro. Like they just got fatigued. Dragons at the end.
Look, like Eels, to be fair, they've been putting a fight recently. They put a fight against the Dogs, a fight against the Dragons a few days ago. So again, that's all the Eels can do right now. They're short on players. Mitchell Moses not there. And again, when Bulldogs were in that position, all we wanted to see was fight, effort, the players putting 100%. And they did that. As much as it hurt, like I know that's their first win, but also pissed they got that win. But yeah, man, Eels, they got to find the win somewhere. They did, and they face on Raiders this week. So we'll see if they can go back to back.
Last game we're going to...
I was just saying, like, about the whole game. Like, look, it was a decent game, but it's just that I think they've lost their connection. Like,
Dragons?
Yeah, the Dragons and their communication. Like, I don't think they were talking that much on the field, helping each other out. They were leading into the game, but you know how Tyrone Salone who put that try, but then his foot was out. Unfortunately, happened.
That would have won them the game.
But someone was telling me, they were saying there was a controversial something happened with Zach Lomax kicking that field goal, and I don't know what exactly happened. So apparently someone was saying it's under investigation or something. I don't know if it's true or not to be confirmed. Yeah. But we'll find out maybe the next couple of days. But
what's on the investigation?
No, there was something happened with
like
Zach Lomax.
A blockage from a defender.
I think so, yeah. There's something going on in that set before he kicked the field goal. So I'm not too sure.
If Bashara said it, it's wrong.
No, I could be right, could be wrong, but I heard someone said it at the game on Sunday.
You're always the rumour mill.
Oh, didn't he?
I'm always the rumour man.
But as Sammy finds it, let's talk about Dogs and Knights, actually. What a fantastic... It's fake.
It was fake. No, but we'll find out. Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, let's talk about Dogs and Knights. Dogs go 5-0. First half was... Again, it was a bit sloppy for both teams. I think we had many attacking opportunities, but credit to Knights, they defended well. In my opinion, I genuinely feel that Knights focused in training their defense, and we saw enough in the first half how strong their defense was. And I feel Knights had a game plan where if they can defend strong in the first half, they can have many opportunities into the second half and like capitalize on the game. Because when Dogs were struggling to score, this can put pressure on the team. They start to lose focus. They get frustrated, and that's when Knights can take on their chances. But yeah, Dogs woke up in the second half. Knights just kept doing too many errors, and Dogs are just looking unstoppable at the moment. I don't think no one can stop us right now.
Yeah, you're actually right, Shabil. First half, like Bulldogs, I think they defended a lot. I think about 90% of the time. And I know it was only 2-0, but I think Critter should have just let it tap, like they should have put the first try in the first half.
when they took the 2.
Yeah, for that 2, yeah. But look, end of the day...
in a way, that 2 was helpful because we couldn't break them. So it gave us something, at least some points on the board. Yeah,
exactly. Like they defended a lot, but there was a lot of mistakes, which they fixed up in the second half. But then second half switched around. They started putting tries. They defended a lot. They were bridging up the way how they did with their combination last week against Sharks, how they all came up. They stopped Ponga. They stopped Sharp. Yeah. Who else? They stopped Jack Hogger. Majority of the team.
And we see like this, like our attack first half was a bit sloppy. We couldn't get through them. Their defense was very solid. But look at this. We were still, putting the pressure on them. they really were in our own half. You know, we were always in there and trying to attack, trying to score. And I know we didn't get points, but again, I see that as a positive, knowing that we were able to put pressure on them, you know, suffocate them in their own half. And then, you know, if we had capitalized, that would have even been a greater result, but we didn't. But again, there's many positives. Even though we only led 2-0 and we had so many chances, there's still positives in that because we just left them in their own half. They could not get out. They didn't put pressure on us. So I see that as a positive. And as you said, second half, we just opened it up. So I'm very happy with the boys.
Yeah, great stuff from the Dogs, man. Just clean up on the errors. You know, we got Rabbitohs in a couple of weeks, which will, I think
next week actually.
Oh yeah, next week.
Good Friday.
Sorry.
That's right.
Sorry, cuz you're my fucking calendar.
I love to remind everyone.
No, thanks,
cuz.
you know. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like we beat Rabbitohs, and I feel like about that game.
Yeah.
Just errors need to clean up. First half was a bit shaky. Second half, we capitalized on it. Many chances in that game. I feel like we had more field position, but it is what it is. I'll still take a 20-0 win.
But and
Got the win.
What I'm happy about the Dogs is every game we've played, we've closed down the big plays in that team. You look, Ponga was closed down, Bradman Best, Sharp. You look at last week, Nico Hines, Trindle. And I feel this is what we focus a lot. This year, you look at last year, there was games where just the best player of the opposition would just take control of the game and just find a way to win, and we just couldn't handle it. Yeah. So this year, I think we've got another gameplay where we have to close the best player in that team, and that's allowing us to have that freedom to do what we want to do and just not get affected by the other players.
Well, look, Kiras came back. He was exceptional. One of the best players on that field. That's already a boost. And the fact that we still have Kika and Burden,
and
they come back Good
well.
Friday, Tupanua, they come back all Good Friday. The fact that we're not even at our best yet, not in regards to players, but in regards to the way we're playing, there's still massive changes we've got to do and improve our team. We're still winning. We're still 5-0. We're still undefeated. And I hate these people saying, oh, Dogs haven't played anyone good. Bulldogs Dragons first game is always tough. Both teams are fresh. You don't know what you're going to expect. You know, we had Sharks. That's tough. Knights isn't as easy as people think we saw in the first half. So I think that, for example, look at Broncos. If they're supposedly having an easy draw, how come they didn't beat Raiders? Look at Melbourne. How come they didn't beat Dragons? So we're being able to beat these teams that people are saying that are easy, where other teams couldn't. So again, we're doing good. We got all the boys back, and then we haven't even hit first gear. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, we head into round 6. Anthony,
round
get
6.
the games up.
Yep. So first game, Dolphins versus Penrith Panthers. What do you have, boys?
That's a tough one. Panthers, they need a win. They've got changes. Talaki's in the squad. Dylan Edwards back. I honestly think they need to bounce back, and I'm going to stay safe and go Panthers.
So last week I'm picking Panthers.
Yeah.
Last week, bro. When are they not going to be favourites? They're still favourites for this game.
Yeah, I know they are.
And to be fair, 4 in a row, it gives you the right to be favourite all year.
Well, 3-1, isn't it? 3-4.
4-0. 4-P.
Yeah, no.
4-P. So I'm saying, like, it gives you the right, even if you lose it, like halfway, you know, up until half point in the year, haven't won a game, you're still favourite, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Panthers. The last week, bro. The last week.
Yeah, as Will said, they're always gonna be favourites. It's gonna always be hard to tip against them, no matter how bad they're playing. Yeah, surely Panthers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Panthers.
Shout out to Julian Nali. He's our special guest for today. Massive Dragons fan, passionate, does great content around them. So make sure you give him a follow, and he's going for Panthers as well.
Yeah, right.
All right, next game, 6 o'clock, Dragons versus Gold Coast Titans.
I'm gonna go Dragons. I think Shane Flanagan will not allow that to happen again. If they were to lose to Titans, I don't know what next for Dragons. I think it's just going to be the same season for them. I don't see nothing changing from there if they were to lose, but I'm going to back them. I just think they'll win at home.
I'm going Dragons.
Yep. Dragons as well. I think if they lose, they're in a worse position than they were last year, so they should get the win.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dragons as well.
Yep. And Julian going Dragons.
Yep. Next game, 8 o'clock, Brisbane Broncos versus Sydney Roosters.
Now, something about this telling me Roosters will win this game. I'm tipping Broncos. I'm going to stay safe. I think just at home, Suncorp. But I don't know. You look at Roosters where pressure was on them against Panthers in round 2, and they just stepped up. And I feel this is a game, again, where their season's on the line. If they were to lose this, they got another tough game next week, I think against Melbourne, if I'm sure. And yeah, if they were to lose this, then lose to Melbourne, their season will be done for sure. So it's a big game. I've got a feeling they could win, but I want to stay safe and go Broncos.
Bill?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Broncos.
Yeah.
Broncos. Adam Reynolds hasn't been ruled out despite his injury in the game against Tigers. So that's a big boost. So Broncos at home.
Well, I'm going to go Roosters, actually. I think they got a good record at Suncorp.
Last year they won.
Last year they win. and apparently Chad Townsend got dropped this
Yeah, he
week.
did, yeah.
So they got Hugo Savala that's
Okay.
coming into the squad. Apparently he's really good. So I feel like Roosters might edge the win.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
going to go tip Roosters.
Julian's going Broncos.
All right, next game. Sorry, boys. Next game we got Saturday, Sharks versus Manly.
Now this game's at Perth.
Yeah, that's right, off the
yeah,
stadium,
There's
yeah.
double game day.
Oh,
Double
is it?
games at Perth. Sharks, they need a massive win. Manly, again, I was reading something in regards to Cherry Evans and how that incident, again, still speculation around him, why he's leaving Manly, have put pressure and why they really struggle against Melbourne. I think Sharks are desperate more than Manly, and I'm going Sharks.
Yeah, I'm going Sharks.
Yeah, I'm going Sharks.
Same here, Sharks.
Julian's going Manly.
Okay.
So he's going
Alright.
the opposite.
All right, next game, 5:30, Rabbitohs and Cowboys.
This one now again. This is sort of. I'm not again. I'm like Chabot. I think Cowboys can really cause an upset here. No Jamie Humphries. No Cody Walker.
Cody Walker, yeah.
But again, Ewan Atkins back in the center. Mitchell moves to the halves. They still have some good players. Rabbitohs. Cowboys could cause an upset, and I won't be surprised if they do. But I'm going Bunnies to stay safe.
I'm going to go Cowboys. I feel like Cowboys going to get South Sydney pretty good. I think they'll probably upset them. So
Okay.
I'm going to go Cowboys.
I'm going Rabbitohs.
Yeah, Rabbits.
Rabbits, and Julian's going South Sydney as well.
All right, next game we got Parramatta Eels and Canberra Raiders. Sorry.
This one's at the country. I think something in
Yeah, it's in Darwin actually.
Yeah, Darwin.
Oh,
Yeah.
they always pay up there.
Para
every year.
always plays it, but I think they always lose there.
Yes.
I think Eels will put a good effort, but I think I'm still going Raiders. I think they'll be a bit too strong.
Yeah, I'm picking Raiders.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
Raiders.
Canberra Raiders too.
Julian's going Raiders.
Sunday we got Melbourne and Warriors. This is gonna be a hard game.
This is always a classic. I always
Yeah.
love these
Yeah.
games.
It's always a hard game.
Yeah,
This
it's
Isn't
year.
always
that
tough.
normally on Anzac Day?
Yeah, they usually do it
Yeah,
Anzac
Anzac
Day,
Day.
but
But
this
they're
week
doing
it's-
it this year. So
Yeah.
this week, sorry.
Yeah, Melbourne at home, easy.
Melbourne.
Look, I want Melbourne to win. I know they played very good against Manly. Warriors did play good too last week as
They've
well.
been proving a lot.
They're proving a lot,
Fans wrong.
but something's telling me Warriors. I think I'm going to tip Warriors. They're going to edge it.
Okay.
Yeah, Warriors.
Yeah, because they beat Tigers. I know they got lucky, but Melbourne played pretty good against Manly.
Yeah, again, no tips
Yeah.
crazy this year because
Yeah,
the way
exactly.
the season's gone,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
But
it's
anything
crazy.
can happen. You
Yeah,
know?
anything
I'm gonna go Melbourne.
Melbourne. Yeah.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Okay, last game, Anthony.
What did Julian go?
Julian's went Storm.
Okay.
Okay, last game of the week we got Newcastle and Tigers.
Yeah, this one's a tough one. Tigers, back-to-back losses. Knights, they lost against Dogs.
Yeah.
This one could go either way, but I think Luai's back. I think Tigers should get the win. I think they're building something good, and they need another win. So I'll go Tigers.
Yeah, I've
to
been
win.
impressed with Tigers' last two performances, even though they've lost. Knights, again, they'll be up for this game. I think Tigers will get the revenge.
Yeah, I feel like Tigers. The last few weeks when they started the season, they played very, very exceptional. They upsetted everyone out.
Yeah.
So I know those couple of losses, they can learn from it. You know, I think it's a motivation too. But I think Luai now is stepping back after that suspension. Knights, they've been up and down lately,
Yeah.
but I feel like Tigers are going to get them.
Yeah,
Bill?
Tigers.
Yeah.
Tigers.
It's good watching Tigers now.
Yeah,
Very-
Tigers actually have stepped
they-
up.
Fun to watch.
They should
Yeah,
have
yeah.
beaten almost Broncos. That
I
first
know.
half, they were in the lead.
Yeah, they
So,
were by 2
It's like,
points, I think. Yeah.
They should have won it, but again, I'm
I
loving
think
the
they
Tigers
just
right
got
now.
fatigued at second half.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, I think they did. The Tigers, man, I'm loving
And
it.
Julian's going for Knights.
All right, now, what are we talking about next, boys?
Let's talk about Panthers, actually. Now, they've been on a 4-peat, as we all know, for the last 4 years, 5 grand finals in a row. But why do you think they've struggled this year, Anthony? This year?
Look,
Is that just they're not motivated anymore? They've done the 4-peat, that's all they need?
Yeah,
or-
no, Jerome Luai, bro.
So you think
I think that. Yeah.
I've caught it. Like you take Jerome Luai. He was that final piece of the puzzle that was holding Panthers together. But now that he's out, bro, clearly you can tell he's suffering without him.
Yeah.
He doesn't, bro. Even the players, they don't want to defend. They don't want to, because they're full, bro. They've won.
Yeah,
They've won 4 in a row. What else they're playing for?
And that's what I always say about Luai. He does bring that energy to the team. Like,
What do you mean? When Cleary's not there, he's carrying that
he's
team.
carrying the team, and now Cleary without him, they've struggled a bit. Just Bill made a great point. Like Luai is something different, and we can see that they've really missed him a lot this year. And you see that. I think last year, as we saw Luai develop and become a bit of a mature player, he's learnt a lot. He's developed his game, and now we're really seeing how much Panthers miss him. I still think Panthers do have a good squad to do that without him. I don't think again, if Luai was, again, he's not there, but they still should be winning games.
But they're like, yeah, you're right. Like the system didn't change.
Yeah.
They're still playing the same style of footy they've
But
been
Luai,
playing for
yeah,
the past
I get it.
5 years since they've been in the grand final and 4 since they won. But at the same time, it's just like I feel like I think maybe the culture's a bit gone. You know, you strip. You know, a few of your biggest players, Crichton, Luai, Turuva, who else? Spencer Linu. I can't even remember the players that left. That's how many players that has left that club. Important players, mind you. And I feel like the system's still there, but just no one wants to play.
Look,
no one cares about playing.
Yeah, look, as much as like Luai is a big miss, I see it as they're still scoring points, Panthers. They're scoring a lot. They scored like 30 against the Roosters. They scored 20 or 22 points against the Cowboys or something. They're still scoring points, and that is why I feel it's not the fact that the Luai's not there when they're attacking. It's, again, because of his presence. As Bill said, I think they've lost... First of all, they lost the character in the team. They've lost the motivation in the team because if you look at it, most of their struggles is because they're missing too many tackles. They're not defending well. We see, the past 3 years... They were averaging, like, say, 16 points, you know, not conceding anything. They're struggling to defend this year, where in other seasons they're defending properly. So I think that's the key. They're not defending well. And, again, I think that comes due to a lack of motivation, just a lack to try. I think they're just losing that effort. And I think the system's still there, but it's because the players are not into it anymore.
Yeah, no, it's it, bro. It's no, I wouldn't say a losing culture right now, but there's something definitely wrong. There's a speed hump in that team right now. It's we all caught it. It was going to happen one day where Panthers would go on a steady slope. I'm not going to say they went on they didn't nosedive to the ground, but they're on a steady slope back down the bottom of the ladder. I mean, they're almost last.
I think they're third last.
They're 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15.
Oh, yeah, 15th. That's right.
So at the same time, it's like I'm not saying it's done yet, but they got to overcome this hurdle because even Bizza, I think he posted something on Instagram in the comment section. Someone said something about they had the photo of when they won the 3-peat with Crichton, Cleary, Luai, and Bizza, and then that photo doing this with the rings, and then Bizza in the comment section had the crying gif. Or GIF,
like
whatever
he
he
misses
said.
those days.
Yeah. So he's like, he missed those days. So you can tell there's something empty inside of all of them, all the players that won that 4-peat.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, I've got a few changes this week. Talagi's back. I don't know if Papali's starting this week. And I feel it's important that they do make these changes because these are the new signings they brought into the club. Talagi, Papali'i. So with them coming to the squad, I think it's going to bring something different to the squad. And I think that's what they've missed. But yeah, hopefully Panthers do step up a bit because again, when they're playing good, it's great to watch. So hopefully everything goes well for them.
Stephen Crichton.
His injuries.
Yeah, he had that bit of an injury on his shoulder, I think. Look, it happens. But he said it's not too concerning. So hopefully nothing's happening.
Here's a few of his quotes. He said, "My body has been all right, but that nerve stuff is something small from last year that I was carrying. It comes and goes sometimes when I get hit right on the spot. It doesn't matter how hard it is, but my whole arm just goes dead. It's nothing that I can strap or put a pad on, so I have to be smart with my tackles." So, and to be honest, we've seen Crichton this year go down a few times. Now, this one against us was in regards to his shoulder, so it is a bit concerning, and his future is on the line, he's saying. So he does fear for the future that, again, if he doesn't get the right tackle, if his tackle goes completely wrong, that can completely stop his NRL career. And we don't want to see that from Crichton. Yeah. He's been such a pivotal player for Dogs, for Panthers as well. He's helped them get that 2-3 premiership trophy. So it'll be sad for him to have some sort of bad injury this year that can cost his entire career, and I don't want to see that. Yeah,
Crichton, like as I said, I don't think he's been the best this year. I think defensively he's been phenomenal, but I think when it comes to offensively, we've seen better Crichton. Again, we saw that at the start of last year. He took time to gel, and again, I think you got to look close at his performances. He hasn't been to the level we know he can be, and I think it's because he's going through some injury problems. We've seen against the Dragons, he fell down injured. Against
I think Eels too. I'm not sure.
The Eels, he had a little injury. He fell down, and again against the Knights, he fell down. They were checking him up. So he's had a constant trend where he's always on the ground. He's carrying a little injury, but he overcomes it. So I think there's something to that that's holding his game back. I don't know.
It's that. That's
I know,
holding
but
him
I'm saying
back.
he's always getting injured at some point in the game, and I think that's what's holding him back. And again, it might be that fear Chabot said, where he knows he could be one tackle away from being injured for a season. So I don't know. We just got to keep an eye on that. But yeah, Crichton's such a big part of our team. Even if he's not playing good, his presence just helps the whole club. So
I think Kira's last year, was it last year or 2 years ago? Well, he was
I think
having
it was 2 years ago.
2
Yeah.
years ago. I think he was having back issues, and even us fans were saying Kyrgios hasn't been the best. And I think it was a few weeks later where it was confirmed that he was experiencing an injury with his back. So again, that's with Crichton, and hopefully everything goes well.
You don't want to lose your captain. But when he got injured last week, bro, it was definitely scary. Like, if he gets injured, what happens to that team? We can lose the kick out, we can lose the burden, and they're crucial players. But like, if we lose Critter, man, our season's basically done. Even if it's just for like 2-3 weeks. I mean, like really, it's not really done. But like, you know what I mean? It's like you'd struggle for a bit. You don't want to struggle when you're on a winning streak right now.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like, bro, better put some bubble wrap on Stephen Crichton, bro, because we need this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Shara, what do you reckon about
Look, he
Crichton?
just needs to be careful, you know, like when he especially goes like into the tackle now, when he's like trying to tackle in the right position. But look, in that situation, like for his shoulder, bro, like that's hard, man. Like, you know, hitting
It's like
a
a
nerve,
nerve,
like
a nerve,
a
yeah.
nerve damage or something like that's gonna, like how you said, it's gonna cost him like for his,
his
career, you know.
yeah.
All I can say, bro, hopefully, like it's nothing too serious, you know. He has to stay.
And he's even said he can't even
what?
strap it. Nothing.
Yeah, he can't do
Nothing
anything
stop
about it.
So
It's
it's
nerves.
yeah.
just about being cautious of how he plays. And I think this year we're not going to see the best of Crichton. And
Nah,
I'm
I
fine
think-
with that. I think his health is more important.
Nah, I think he'll be fine, but I think it's just that, like how you said, at the start of the year last year, it just took time for him to gel into the squad and that. But when it comes to the mid-season and end of the season, that's when he starts firing up. I think he starts getting better. I reckon he'll get better every single week of the game. So we just got to wait and see what's
it's good
going
we
to
got the
happen.
bye this week. It gives all the boys a rest. Let's kick out and Burton come in, and then we'll see how it goes against
Our final
Rabbitohs.
topic, we're just going to talk about the inconsistencies of the referees this week. We saw Raiders, a few bad decisions go their way in regards to the high contact. Forward passes in the Roosters-Rabbitohs match. Tedesco was caught forward, but Latrell wasn't. And yeah, we spoke about this so many times last year. These refs, man, like I saw that Hudson Young incident. That was no way a sin bin. There was calls this week where there was a high contact, but it was just placed on report. But yeah, I felt bad for Raiders. That's why I was so eager for them to win this week, because the calls that were going against them, and if they had lost that game, honestly, Ricochet could have got fined. That's how bad those calls
100%.
were. And I don't know, man. They just got to fix. And even these forward passes, I don't know why. Again, I've said that last year. I've always said this.
I think we've all said it.
We've
Literally,
all said
yeah.
it. I don't know why every decision they can focus on, but a forward pass they can't call off in the bunker system, or I don't know what's the point of these touchline refs. They can't even call a forward pass.
Thank you very much for saying that. Every time those touches, when they
They're
see the forward
useless. They're
pass,
useless.
they don't want to call it out.
Like, we
That's why I get confused and frustrated and I stress out, because enough is enough. When you see a forward pass, call it, say forward.
Like, we see it on TV.
Yeah.
And you're saying they're right in line with the players. They can't see it.
Yeah, and the players even saying it's bloody
What
forward.
do you mean? The bunker can't even see it.
Yeah, I
Bunkers,
know.
They have the whole cameras.
Because
and
they're in the bloody office.
That's
What
why I
would you
think,
expect?
there's no technologies apparently that they can invest in. Apparently, it's a big
All you
money.
need is one camera, bro.
I know. Apparently, it's big money. I think there's a camera where
It's
you put it on the
excuses, man.
side. It
Yeah.
keeps on track. It's a camera that keeps on rolling like that. And at least from there, you have an angle where you can determine if a ball is forward. Now, sometimes even without that camera, you can determine if a ball is forward by the way that player's moving their hands.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
from that, they shouldn't completely rule out on the bunker to say we can't. We can't overrule decision on forward pass. If you see a pass is clearly forward, you can have the right to overrule that decision saying it's a forward.
Exactly.
Regardless, if you can't clearly see it, at times you can see, look at his ball movement, look where the ball's traveled, it's a forward. I think that's the best way
if
to deal
if
with
you
it.
can clearly see something is a high tackle or a high shot,
see
it. Yeah.
you can clearly see if something's a forward pass.
Like-
So, bro, it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
I
It
really
is
want to know
bullshit.
why I can't get my head around why this is the only decision. Like, can you think of one logical reason why they don't call forward passes?
Like,
in the
That's
what
what I'm
is-
understanding,
I
because
can't understand why.
But and even as NRL fans, like especially when people watching the footy around Australia, like on television, they can actually say themselves it's actual
Like
forward
the
pass.
Latrell Mitchell. pass.
Yeah, like a Latrell Mitchell pass.
Like even the Reece Walsh back in 2023
Warriors.
preliminary
But
final.
they called it a forward.
No, it was a
they
try.
scored that try.
Yeah, he scored it, but I said that they
Yeah.
called it
But
after.
that's what I'm saying.
They said it
But
was
still,
a forward
what's the
pass.
point?
after.
That's what I'm
There was
saying.
no point.
As
The
the
game's
bunker
done.
checks that is a clear as a forward pass. That's why the Sharks, okay, we've seen a clear forward pass.
Yeah.
We're going to disallow the try. They can't just see a forward pass, something that's broken the rules of the game,
Yeah.
and just let it happen because, we can't interfere in that. It's just a...
Yeah, but
there's
that's
no-
an
there's
excuse
no-
because the referees are in the bloody middle. They can see it's forward, but they don't want to call it itself.
Yeah, I know.
Because they're that dumb and stupid. Sorry to say, but that's my own opinion,
Like,
bro. I
so
don't
they
care what
should
anyone
just-
thinks.
exactly. They talk about like video refs. They can say, "Oh, he's in front of 10 meters in front of the kicker. It's a penalty." They focus on these little things,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
can't focus on a forward pass.
And especially when the tries and that, they don't like to see the forward passes. They just want to skip it.
yeah,
No,
they just
That
they
is
don't wanna
just
focus
dumb,
on it.
man. That is
There's no
exactly dumb, man.
There's no
logical reason.
Exactly.
100%.
And this season has been the worst of it. Like,
Oh, 100%, Sam.
we've seen so many forward passes, the high tackles that's been happening recently, some on report, some on sin bin. Like, it's everywhere. Like, you put us into that,
Yeah.
one of us in the bunker, one of us refereeing, we do a much better
Or
job.
get the touchline to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Scrap the touchline, bro. They do nothing in the game.
No, I get
They
you.
can't get the forward
what
pass
about-
exactly.
Grab the
right.
touchline, but get the touchline.
What about a
Yeah.
couple of
Oh,
weeks
my
ago? Remember when Kostak, when he was running into one of the Tigers players, and you know how they said it was a high shot
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
and how the refs like.
All
they
right,
think-
bro. All right,
No,
cuz.
I'm just let me
Quiet,
finish.
quiet down the motor.
Okay, but let me finish.
Quiet, put it
But
down,
let me
bro.
finish.
Oh,
But
yeah,
he
okay,
put
go,
his
go.
head into the shoulder. How's that a high
That's
tackle?
not a high tackle.
That is
Exactly.
not
That's
a high
even
tackle.
Bashara,
That's
Bashara.
his fault.
We're getting
Even
angry
Alex saw
again.
it,
We're getting
Tigers
angry
photos
again.
when we were- Mamas and papas.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
His head went to shoulders.
That-
No.
That's what's
Bashara,
confusing me with
you
these
forgot to
refs.
take your pills today.
Pills for what? For sudden?
His
Even
anger.
the Raiders one, the head collision.
The
with
Hudson Young, he got sick.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
said it was sin bin. I don't know, man.
But you know what? This is actually really ridiculous. Enough is enough. Look, I think every NRL fan has had enough from these referees. They need to fix up their situation. If they don't fix up their situation, I'm telling you, all hell break loose. Like, it's going to get worse and
Oh,
worse.
yeah, but
No, I'm being serious. Because me, as a fan, as an NRL fan, I'm sick and tired of how NRL refs does the dumbest mistakes. I'm sick and tired of it.
You know what?
That's why it frustrates me at the games.
Why don't you
Okay.
run for CEO?
Me, CEO. I'll change things around if I have to. If you want me to be the NRL president, I'll do it. I don't care.
Or vote for Bashara. Vote for
Yeah,
Bashara,
that's it. I reckon that's it.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Is that a wrap up?
Do you want
That's
to
right.
You got anything else you want to say, bro?
I'm done.
Is
say
the
subscribe?
No comment.
is the motor
So
cool?
you can do it. I'm not in the mood
But
for it.
anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, comment down below. Make sure you're following us on Spotify. That's how you do it, Bashar. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Outro, cuz.
Of course.
Other than that, it's been the Touchline, and we're out.